My next patron question is from Billy, who's curious what television shows I think have potential to be turned into great movies. Over the years, several television series have made successful leaps to the big screen, from Star Trek to Mission Impossible, and I'm sure Hollywood is always looking through their archives to find some shows to adapt, and there are quite a few I'm surprised have not been adapted into movies yet. One I've long thought could be fun if handled correctly is I Dream of Jeannie. If you get the right filmmaker attached with an interesting vision for how to handle this story of an astronaut who finds a genie and hijinks ensue, there's a lot of potential for something funny and charming, almost akin to what Barbie pulled off. Sony did almost produce a movie in the 2000s with Kate Hudson attached as Genie, but the failure of the Bewitched movie put a stop to those plans. However, I think enough time has passed since then to give another go. I mentioned this in a video years ago, and I still think Jennifer Lawrence as Genie and Bill Hader as Captain Nelson would be ideal casting choices, although John Mulaney could also work as Nelson. The show I'm probably most surprised has not gotten a big screen movie yet is Family Guy. Regardless of one's thoughts on the show, it feels like the kind of thing 20th Century Fox and now Disney would want. Seth MacFarlane occasionally brings it up as something they've discussed, but it's never moved beyond an occasional mention in an interview. We're now at the point where it took less time for The Simpsons to get a movie than it has taken Family Guy. Bob's Burgers somehow got a movie first. However, the MacFarlane show I would most like to see get the big screen movie treatment is The Orville. With its space battles and other science fiction elements, it would be fitting. MacFarlane himself even said that when developing the episodes for the third season, that he saw them as essentially hour-long movies. Some of those episodes even had runtimes exceeding 80 minutes. However, The Orville has been more of a cult show rather than a breakout hit, so I don't see Disney greenlighting a theatrical movie. I could maybe see one being produced for Hulu in the future, depending on the enthusiasm and if MacFarlane can make time for it. A streaming series that I think would be very successful if it got a big screen movie is Stranger Things. It has quite a sizable built-in audience, and if Netflix eschews their usual practice of giving their films a short theatrical run, a Stranger Things movie has a chance of being a big hit at the box office and bring some extra money Netflix's way. And it does feel like the Duffer Brothers have some movie-like ambitions, as the episodes seem to have gotten longer. One episode in the most recent season even ran over 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm sorry, but that's not a television episode. That's a feature-length film. With the 5th season of Stranger Things planned as the last one, I think it would be a good idea if the series finale was made into a theatrical film, if the creators felt that was the right way to go, of course. Then you have shows whose opportunities to have a movie have probably passed, but I thought at the time would be neat to see. One is Gravity Falls. The final 4 episodes of the series had a grand cinematic feel to them and could have easily been combined to become a movie. I'm certain if Gravity Falls had been made during the Michael Eisner era of Disney, when he was putting movies based on Doug, Recess, and even Teacher's Pet into theaters, he would have likely done the same with Gravity Falls. Many years ago, there was also talk about an Adventure Time movie, but did not come to fruition for whatever reason. I think a big screen movie released during the height of the show's popularity could have done very well, but nowadays, if one were to be made, it would likely be on Cartoon Network or Max. It does seem like nowadays some of the most talked about shows are on streaming services, and if they were to approve a movie, it would likely be exclusive to said service rather than getting a traditional theatrical release. Occasionally, a zeitgeisty show airs on a network or a cable channel like HBO, but it's a lot more rare now than it used to be. And with so many more television series out there, the audience is clustered about. A Game of Thrones type hit, or even something like WandaVision, where a large segment of the audience excitedly tunes in or streams the show at the same time when a new episode comes on, can still happen, but not as much. With that said, Hollywood is always looking at whatever intellectual property they own and trying to find some television show from their back catalog that could be turned into a potential hit movie. Did you know The Fall Guy, the upcoming action movie with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, is based on a television series from the 80s? I did not know that until after I saw the trailer. A $6 Million Man movie has been in development for several years but has not happened yet, although Mark Wahlberg recently revealed he's been working with Skydance to try and get it up and running. But do you know what I'm still waiting for? The Manimal movie that Will Ferrell is going to produce. That's a billion-dollar hit right there. Now let me know in the comments what television shows you would like to see be made into movies, and thank you for the question, Billy.